the principal and told him I was leaving. He
Leave!
didn't even look at me. He just said, "You should be ashamed of your dad. Get out of my school."
Oh my god! He threw it. I'm so in love with this already. True story. I know everyone's dirty secrets by pretending I'm a what? I'm blind? Ah, dang, I thought she was gonna like pretend that she was a rock. She cosplays as a rock. I'm really disappointed. Anyway, you guys keep asking me to react to this one, and that's what you want. That's what the people want. So here we are. Once again, My Story Animated. Check them out. This one really has been requested more than others. So I'm excited to figure out why. Let's see how wacky this one is.
As if the last year of school before college wasn't stressful enough, my dad got himself fired and we had to move to a new city so he could find a new job.
That's stressful.
It wouldn't have been so bad, except Dad was a teacher at my school, so everyone knew what he'd done. It was one of the worst things to happen to us since Mom died when I was 12.
What is happening to this girl back there, dude? She's like, someone call the cops.
But this time, it was all Dad's fault.
What is that walking?
He was having an affair with the principal's wife.
Oh my god! Those lips! Okay, I see it. I see why you guys want me to react to this one. Freaking animation, man! Whoever's animating this, keep doing this, please. This freaking Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs freaking animation over here. Look at those lips! Look at him, he's so traumatized. If I saw someone's lips doing that, especially in real life, that would be actually scary. I get it. In the background. This is not a time to be freaking filming your TikToks in the cemetery. Okay, Jane. You know what she reminds me of? She reminds me of this. She reminds me of Dr. Disrespect dancing. That's not exactly him, but it's like supposed to be him. Anyway, you get the point.
And someone in my grade filmed them and shared it across social media. I could have stayed at this school and finished my exams.
Oh, don't mind me. I'm just walking through the hallway. I think they figured it out. Guys, I think My Story Animated is onto a new thing. Just animate your stories freaking crazy as crap, like wacky. I love it. They're just breaking through those walls, man. Telling you.
I could have stayed at this school and finished
the freaking girl back
my
here.
Exams.
Well, this girl is like runway model, you know? Oh, dang, that was a good block though. I don't practice that. That girl looks like she's gonna go beat my dad.
But let's be honest, I'd never live it down. I lasted about 3 days before I went to
freaking sis, man.
The principal and told him I was leaving.
Leave.
He didn't even look at me. He just said, "You should be ashamed of your dad. Get out of my school."
Oh my god! He threw it. I'm so in love with this already. Is that why she's blind?
When I was emptying out my locker, one guy came up to me and said that me and my dad were a disgrace, and I shouldn't show my face in this town again. I couldn't get out of there fast enough. So Dad and I packed up and moved, leaving our old life behind.
Dude,
it's
like so much to take in.
The video was still viral, and I even thought about asking Dad if I could change my surname
so
to Mom's old name, just so I wouldn't have to be associated with it all.
But wait, didn't their mom die? And he just... wait, what happened again?
He was having an affair with the principal's wife.
Oh! I was so distracted by the animation, I honestly am not even paying attention to the story. But I get it. Now I understand why the principal threw a pin at her eye. I don't know what she did, though.
So Dad and I packed up and moved, leaving our old life behind. I was miserable at first. The video was still viral, and I even thought about asking Dad if I could change my surname to Mom's old name,
#1 on trending,
just so I wouldn't have to be associated with it all. Dad couldn't find a job anywhere. Everyone recognized him from the video,
the same man.
And some newspapers had written about it too.
Nope.
It was a nightmare. I knew I'd have to start at a new school so I could sit my final exams.
What the heck is this mascot? What do you, is that like a note? What do you call these again? Basically like a Pokemon, Sand Slasher. Sand Slash.
So I decided to try and disguise myself. I cut my long hair into a pixie cut and bleached it blonde.
Okay.
Then I got my nose pierced.
Oh, go
off,
girl.
On the first day, Dad offered to drive me, but I told him I'd walk, just in case anyone recognized him. I knew I was being mean to him, but I didn't care. He'd ruined my reputation, and
so did she turn into like an e-girl? Is that what I'm getting?
I wasn't about to let him do it again. As I was walking to school, I was
gold moles. It's a mole. That's what it is. It's not Sand Slash.
Paying attention, and I bumped into a young guy. "Hey, watch it," he said. "I'm blind." I apologized, then looked back at him. Wow,
Just because he's blind doesn't give him an excuse to slap the crap out of you. Dude, the animator of this is just like having a field day with this entire thing. And honestly, it's amazing. They didn't have to go out like this. Like, they didn't have to go all out.
I'd never have known he was blind. And then I got an idea. I reached into my bag and put on my sunglasses. And then when I got closer to this school, I held onto the wall and walked alongside it slowly. I could see people looking at me, but I didn't care. A few people started whispering, and I let go of the wall. What was I even doing? But then a girl came up to me and introduced herself as Elsie and took me by the arm and offered to help me walk to class. She said her brother was blind too, so she knew how difficult it could be sometimes. Well, too late now. I'd started this, so I just have to play along. I mean, how hard could it be? I told her I was new around here, and this was my first day.
Oh, what a face to stop on. Does this really make her daughter any better than her dad? Like, it's kind of messed up to pretend you're blind because people that are actually blind probably, I mean, almost certainly wish that they could pretend to be blind. But when's she gonna get found out? We all know what's gonna happen. We all see the movies. We all know that it's never gonna work out, right? It's like people that fake being in a wheelchair, then they just get up. It's awful. And also, the blind guy, when the blind guy slapped her, how did he know that she wasn't blind? Does he just know exactly who's blind and who's not?
She seemed so excited. She started describing things to me, like where the girls' bathroom was, and then she took me to register, and I was so sure the principal would know I was lying. But it seemed this school took disability seriously.
Success!
For the first time in ages, I felt like people actually cared about me. Elsie was assigned as my guide, and that first morning passed in a blur.
Tell me that wasn't perfect, right?
When she introduced me to her boyfriend at lunch, I had to stop myself from staring at him. He was such a babe.
Oh.
But then I realized I could stare all I wanted because he obviously thought I couldn't see him. And when Elsie...
Stonks. I don't even know why I said that. Everyone in this animation is just freaking like a crazy, wacky cartoon animation.
Elsie had her back turned. I could see him checking me out, looking me up and down. And from the way his mouth was hanging open, it was clear he thought I looked good. It was like a whole new world had opened up. As soon as people found out I was blind, they did all kinds of things in front of me.
Is that the
One
guy
was picking his nose, and then when we went to the bathroom, Elsie didn't even close the door. It was pretty awkward, but what could I do? Surely someone would catch me out. And yup, sure enough, in the afternoon, things went downhill. Elsie dropped me off at the classroom for people with special needs, and then she just left me there.
Well, yeah, special needs, but like, I feel like she could still hear, right?
I looked around me and realized people there seriously had proper disabilities and learning difficulties.
And then I felt horrible.
I wanted to scream that I was a fraud and run out. But the teacher came over to me and gave me a hug, and I was reminded why I was doing this. Anything to avoid being the girl whose dad got fired because of an affair. But then she put a book in front of me, and I realized it was Braille, and my heart almost stopped. How was I supposed to know what this book was about?
I'm more concerned that you have 4 arms, right? Shouldn't we all talk about the 4 arms thing? Oh yeah, that's right. I totally forgot to say I have 4 arms. This is all trouble. Don't fake that you're blind, stupid.
I had no clue how to read it. I had to get out of there. I told her I wasn't feeling very well, and then I reached out to grab onto the chair.
No! She's like, do you know what this says? I was testing you. She does that one thing, just like I can't remember. I think it was like was it Billy Madison? I can't remember which one, but he throws the ball at the blind guy's face and it just hits him. Oh no, I think it was anger management. Yeah.
There in front of me, so I could feel my way out of the classroom.
Oh,
but I didn't even realize how hard I'd pulled it, or the fact there was someone sitting in it. And the next moment, the chair was falling on top of me. Jesus. And then a girl fell onto the floor.
Wow, she's amazing. She's so strong.
How had I not seen her sitting there? This whole faking
I really am blind.
Being blind thing was starting to mess with me. Then it got worse. She landed on her arm and broke it.
How do you even do that? My arm!
She was actually blind, which made me feel so bad. And no one was even angry with me because they all assumed I couldn't see. The teacher ordered an ambulance for the blind girl.
Never forget. Did she just print that out right now? Never forget what?
And offered to call my parents to pick me up. and I panicked and said my dad was sick and my mom had passed away years ago.
Don't call the
teacher
parents.
felt so bad for me and said I could rest in her office until the end of the day,
Oh, they're
and
gonna
then
take
she'd
her
drive
home.
me home.
Yeah.
I sat in the teacher's office
Saw it
and
coming.
waited, and then eventually I decided to leave without her noticing. I left a note thanking her for looking after me.
I had to help my sick dad, Allison. Can blind people write? I mean, I guess you could, but if you were born blind, that would be hard to do. How could you, like, be sure that you know what you're writing? Is this what's going to be her downfall? Ooh, maybe, because I really don't know.
I wrote it with my left hand, of course, so it would look realistic. And then I snuck out. Everyone was in class,
Real sneaky.
so I just walked out of there like normal and headed home.
The
When I
blind
got
normal? It's anything but normal.
At home, Dad was in a good mood. He'd got a job interview and he had a date that night. I just ignored
sweet,
him and
dude.
went to my room. What a crazy first day. The next day, Elsie was waiting for me at the gate, and I had to pretend I didn't see her and walk straight past her. But she grabbed my hand and helped me to class again. Then my
She's so
teacher was there to
sweet.
welcome me, and she said she had some exciting news. That seeing as I was 18 and blind, and my dad was sick, I could claim some benefits to help me out. I couldn't believe it. Jackpot. Maybe being blind wasn't
Jackpot, taking advantage of disability. Taking advantage, I'm just gonna keep going. Taking advantage of disabled people. I can sometimes I feel disabled from the mouth just because I can't talk right.
so bad after all. That morning I had gym class, which I wasn't expecting. I thought another perk of being blind would be that I got to skip sports and stuff. But no, it was so
Aw.
humiliating.
I feel
It
so
was a
bad for
swimming
you.
class. The
Get a look at this fool.
teacher gave me a swimsuit and I put it on backwards, thinking that would be more realistic.
Okay, you don't have to be stupid.
But our special
Come
needs
on.
department teacher rolled her eyes at me and said that by now, surely I knew how to dress myself.
Yeah.
She'd been so nice to me up
Stupid.
until now. I didn't get it.
I can't get enough of this freaking fellow over here.
Watching her and she was constantly looking at her phone.
Oh my god.
The rest of the day dragged by. Faking being
like a
blind
fever
was hard
dream.
work. After school, I decided to go check out the mall. I wore my sunglasses in case anyone from school saw me. Anyway, the mall was pretty lame, so I bought a milkshake and decided to leave. Suddenly,
Oh no.
I saw
No, don't do that. It'll bring the boys to the yard.
Elsie and her boyfriend, and I panicked. I was playing on my
It's like
phone, and I
wiping
was
his
like,
lips
that's
on her?
it.
Free water in the is that a trash can?
They were kissing, so I walked by quickly, hoping they wouldn't see me.
Oh, there
And
he is
then
again.
I realized something. It wasn't Elsie he was kissing. I looked right at him, and he froze and
Oh, it
opened
was
his
the
mouth
boy
to say
that she
something.
liked.
Then I heard him whisper under his breath, "Never mind, she's blind."
She's
Phew.
blind.
Except I wasn't
She
blind,
won't see.
mister, and you have officially been caught in the act. I walked back around, hid behind the fountain, and quickly snapped a pic of them kissing. Elsie deserved better. I looked her up on Instagram and sent her a private message with the photo. She replied straight away saying, "Who is this? Why are you trying to ruin my relationship?" And then it clicked. My Instagram handle wasn't my name, and my pic looked nothing like me. Oh yeah, and I was blind. Obviously she didn't
Oh, I forgot. Thank you.
know it was me. Well, at least she now knew that her boyfriend was a lying, cheating...
Oh my god, no. You did not.
Over the next few days, Elsie didn't come to school, and I regretted sending her that photo. If she found out it had been me who sent it, I'd probably have lost my only friend.
I know, and who's gonna help you go around the school? You're screwed now. Oh wait, you're not actually blind. You fraud. Fraud. Phony. Big fat phony.
I could see her boyfriend looking at me in a horrible way, but I just
How
kept
would
my
he-
head down.
How would he
She
know?
must have told him someone had seen him that day. Was he on to me? He definitely was, because on Friday afternoon, I saw him going into my locker and taking my phone.
I told you those milkshakes are gonna bring him to the yard. See what happens? Honestly, someone needs to do the test to her and throw a paper thing at her or throw like a ball at her. If she flinches, you caught her in the act. In fact, I wonder if that's how she's gonna get caught. Let's find out.
It took all my strength not to jump out at him and stop him, but it was too late. He had taken
Oh
it.
no!
I hurried
How
home
did he
wondering what
know?
I could do. He'd see all the photos and figure out I'd been faking it. I could report my phone missing, but I had no proof that it was him that had done it. I couldn't exactly say I'd seen him. I just
Exactly.
wanted to
Ooh, you
get
can't do
home to
anything
try
now.
and figure out what I'd do next. Except that was not what happened.
I mean, and who keeps their phone in the locker? Like, no one these days actually leaves their phones just like somewhere. Like, unless you're dumb. Sorry.
My dad had invited his date over, and as soon as I walked through the door, he told me to get changed and come join him in the kitchen. Great,
it's the teacher.
just what I needed.
Teacher.
I was chopping carrots when she arrived.
I know it is.
I turned around as my dad introduced her. Allison, sweetie, come meet my new girlfriend, Susan. I literally just missed my foot.
Oh, God.
I dropped the knife right out of my hand and stared in shock. Oh no, Allison, are you okay? Wow, what a coincidence.
Well, you know how to use knives while you're blind? You're so talented. Well, what, you couldn't do math, though? What the heck?
Shouldn't be using sharp knives. Come on, Kevin. Surely you know better than that, she said.
Uh-oh.
Hang on,
she didn't
you two know each other?
She didn't tell him?
My dad said. Why, yes, of course. I'm Allison's teacher. Why didn't you mention your daughter was blind? I had no idea you were her father. In fact, she told me her father was sick.
What the f?
I stood there, my skin burning with shame. I had to run. This
the
was
lies
my
have
absolute
caught up
worst
to you
nightmare.
now.
Allison, my dad screamed, and that was how I got caught. I'd faked being blind because I just wanted people to like me and not associate me with my dad's mistakes. And now I'd gone and messed up everything, including my dad's new relationship. Susan, my teacher, was so upset with me and said I was a huge disappointment and that she didn't want to be with a man who'd raised a daughter like me.
Oh my God, they can't win. This family can't win. Oh, I feel so bad for them because it's true. It's true.
After that, and that I went back to school the following Monday and started afresh. Nope, life doesn't work like that.
Yeah,
I was expelled, of course. And that Monday after school, there was a knock at the door. Elsie was standing there, and I held my breath, assuming she was about to go crazy at me.
She better not betray you.
But instead, she just handed me my phone. She said she'd been angry to find out I'd been lying about being blind, especially as her brother was blind, and it wasn't okay to joke about this kind of thing. But then she said I'd saved her from dating a cheater, and she was so grateful. I was shocked. That was not how I expected her to react.
So it just cancels out together. Okay, I guess that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Why don't these Tell My Story peeps ever have a password on their phone? Oh my God, yes. If she just would have had a password, this all could have been avoided. Who doesn't have a password? Hey, you got a password? Get a password, all right? You never know. You might pretend that you're blind one day and someone will steal your phone and then you'll be screwed. I'm legit like wondering why people aren't like commenting on the animations because it's freaking hilarious. Please, My Story Animated, keep this animator and like send them my way. I want them to animate a video. If you guys want to see it, go check out the actual video. I always encourage you guys to go check it out because you know they're the ones that do the work, and you guys just asked me to react to it, and it's freaking hilarious. But after all, you know, I love My Story Animated. Go check them out. All right, Scrub of the Day time. Today's Scrub of the Day goes to Broken Chair 117. If you guys want to be Scrub of the Day, please do subscribe that subscribe button, all right? Click it. That's what you gotta do. We do lots of stuff. I think you might enjoy it. Just check it out. Yeah. Also, don't forget to check out merch if you like. Okay, I got Scrub on there, right there. Okay. Bye.